Hello, everyone. My name is Rashna Nicholson, and I'm Associate Professor at the University of Warwick.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tancredi Gusman, and I am an Associate Professor at Tor Vergata University of Rome.
Hi, I'm Dorota Sosnowska, and I'm an Associate Professor at the University of Warsaw. Rashna, tell us how the idea for the historiography as metonymy came out to be.
So many moons ago, what felt like many moons ago, I had been going for sessions of the historiography working group, and a lot of the papers were about interesting things like fans and statues and even mothballs, Tancredi's article on mothballs. So there were all these sort of articles on interesting objects, but for whatever reason, nobody was talking about this new way of sort of thinking about historiography, even though there had been these two huge compendiums that had come out on sort of theatre historiography. Some of the chapters alluded to this, but nobody was thinking clearly about what this new way of thinking about history was doing. And I sort of, the word metonymy clicked in my head as a way of thinking about this sort of mode of thought. And it was in the IFTR interim session in Berlin when I first approached Tancredi, asking him what he thought about the idea, and he thought it was great. But because there was such a glut of work on theatre historiography at the time, we felt that there wasn't really the space to do anything new. And so it went on the back burner. But then many years later, so last year, I approached Tancredi again and Dorota, whose work draws heavily on sort of the visual art. And I asked them if they wanted to join me in thinking about sort of conceptualizing a special issue on historiography as metonymy. So here we are today with the special issue. Tancredi, can you explain a little bit to our viewers about what historiography as metonymy means?
Yes, our point of departure was the concept of theatrical object. We were starting from performance art remains left over from theater performances, everything that seems not to have had so much attention in theater historiography, but that for us a very important point of telling stories about the past of theater and performance. And we were asking how these objects are not just representation of the past performance and theater history, but as something that in a way bring the past into the present, and how they signify not through metaphorical meaning, through representation of the past, but in a way that is through proximity and contiguity and contact. So we focused on this perspective of historiography as metonymy, so to think in metonymy not as a linguistic phenomena, but metonymy as a way of researching and asking the role of object in theater and performance history. And so this is where it started, and this issue is what has been produced by our thinking and by the wonderful contribution we have had to this call. And Dorota, what do you think? How this perspective is going to, or might change some perspective, some vision of theater and performance historiography in the future?
Yeah, so what we saw with wonderful contributions already is that theater history, historiography becomes truly interdisciplinary. So it opens to other mediums, and you cannot really place such a strict border anymore between what's theatrical, what's performative, or what's visual. With this notion of metonymy, with the object that we really put in the center of our attention, with the intimate embodied relation with matter that we put at the center of this thinking, the discipline shifts and becomes really open to a lot of cultural categories, cultural studies, and also social categories and influences, let's say. So I think that what will change is to make theater history, historiography truly interdisciplinary and open to other influences, and searching also for this dimension of theater that cannot be really placed in representational, but that opens to non-representational, so affects, bodies, and different strange relations happening in culture.
We really hope you enjoy our special issue. Thank you for your time.